Hey people, how you doing? I hope you're having a smashing goddamn day. Welcome back to the Brom Squad Gaming channel and welcome to the first episode of the Manchester United career mode for the channel. And in this video, in this episode, I should say, we're going to be setting up the team. We're going to be running through what the do's and don'ts and what we will try and attempt to create with this career mode and what we won't, as well as I'll run through some of the transfer targets. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and feedback on the formation, on the tactics, which, by the way, will be changing throughout the course of this career mode. Not episode to episode, but maybe game to game, maybe even season to season. We'll have to see, we'll have to find out. It goes a lot on the feeling of the team and the vibe of it all and all that stuff. And of course, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section with a large majority of everything I will be doing in this episode. So there is that. Let's get it out the way. The next order of business is changing the formation. Of course, currently in FC 26, it's a 5-2-3, of course, Ruben Amorim style, but we're going to be changing it to something slightly different. And that is that right there, a 4-1-4-1. I don't really like the back five, I prefer the 3-4-2-1, but nonetheless, I don't really want to play a very similar style to how Man United are playing IRL, and I want to try and implement, can't even speak, my own version of this team into FC, and hopefully it generates a bit more success than what the current team are doing in real life. Now, as you can see here, we've got Sesko starting up front. We've got Kobbie Mainoo starting at the base of midfield with Casemiro next to him playing slightly further up. And then, of course, Bruno Fernandes. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, what the hell are you doing? Kobbie Mainoo is going to be the brain of this operation for at least this season. That could mean next season it does change. And let me also say this. A lot of these players, they're out of position currently. Mbeumo's a right winger. He should be set to a right midfielder. Casemiro's a CDM. He'll be set to central midfielder, so on and so on and so on. So all of those players and their roles and positions will change to fit the overall tactical system that I have implemented right here, right now. I've also gone ahead and implemented Yoro as well as Matthijs de Ligt as the starting two centre-backs for the time being, because I have gone with a somewhat realistic approach. Lisandro Martinez is out for the next 20 or so weeks, which will allow him to come back in October or November, around that time period, maybe even December. And once he's up and running and fully fit and ready to go, he will therefore be the starting left-sided centre-back, because in my personal opinion, apart from Lenny Yoro, who is still developing, I think Lisandro Martinez is the best centre-back at Manchester United. Lamens will be my first choice. And then we've got Dorgu and Mazraoui, and of course Mazraoui and Dalot will be interchanging and swapping out and in and all that good stuff. Now, let's just run through some of the tactics that I have put in place here. I will be going with a high pressing tactic. I want my boys playing extremely high up the pitch, counter pressing, gegen pressing, doing all that pressing, winning the ball back. It won't be depressing football. It'll be attacking, extreme, high level, high energy, high octane, all the time, every time. Now, one thing that I do like about FC this year is they don't have those stupid locks for virtually everything. You don't have to lock yourself into one specific play style or one specific build-up style or one specific anything, especially with the high press the high pressing approach. You can have it on counter, short passing, or balanced. Now, for the time being, I'm going to leave it on balanced, as well as with the defensive approach. It is going to be set to extreme, but it will also drop from time to time to high. Of course, we do have that locked approach for the balance and the deep and so on, but I don't want my team playing too deep. We need to be on the front foot for most games. Now, these roles will change from player to player, not just from season to season or game to game. If I swap out Sesko for potentially Joshua Zirkzee, of course, we all know IRL, they're very different sort of strikers. Zirkzee likes to drop deep, playing that false nine role. And that is exactly what will be happening when I make substitutions, what will be happening when I swap Sesko and Zirkzee around. Maybe Zirkzee's done a good run of form where he scored like 3 goals in 5 games, he will then get the start. It's not about favoritism, it's about effectiveness. It's about winning football, but also doing it with a brand of particular football that hopefully you guys, the fans, and also the Man United fans, will come to enjoy. Now again, that goes for virtually every single human being on this starting 11 pitch. Now, the one person that I think is virtually irreplaceable because there's a lack of depth, and that is Kobbie Mainoo. So he will be playing a lot of games unless he's injured or unless he's not fully fit. Fitness will also be a key factor to players starting games. But I can see Kobbie Mainoo starting a lot of games for me. And like I said earlier, he is going to be the brain of the operation. He is going to be the guy who's dropping deep to collect the ball in the first phase, then get up the pitch and recycle possession and try and help the likes of Bruno Fernandes and even Casemiro unlock the opposition and feed players like Benjamin Sesko or Joshua Zirkzee, feed players like Mbeumo out wide cutting inside, as well as having Matheus Cunha, who will also drift into those pockets of space in that left-sided area, and he will look to assert himself alongside Bruno, Mainoo and so on in helping the team succeed. As for Dorgu, I know he's a bombing on fullback, likes to attack, but for the time being, I'm going to try and see if he's tactically versatile enough to be able to invert into midfield from time to time, maybe just patrol up and down that left-hand side. And I do think that he is a better player than Luke Shaw, especially for what I'm looking for the player to do. And that does lead me nicely into the next segments of this video, and that is going to go through the entirety of the squad list and talk about who I'm going to keep, who I'm not going to keep. And I am going to try and, at least for season 1, keep it along the realistic terms. So there is that too. We've got Tom Heaton, Onana, Bayendia, Lamens, Vitek, and Harrison. Those are our goalkeepers. But, of course, Lamens is going to be the outright number 1, with Bayendia being the bench option and Heaton being the third choice. As for the loanee goalkeeper, or sorry, not the loanees, the loaned out goalkeepers, Onana, Vitek, and Harrison, Onana will definitely be gone. It's not a ifs, buts, or maybes. He is gone. He'll come back at the end of the season, and then I'll put him on the transfer list, and he will then vacate the area as quick as possible. As for Vitek and Harrison, it depends on how much they can grow. I'm going to probably loan out Harrison again next season. I'll try and secure a 2-year loan. So we won't be seeing a lot of him in this career mode. Although, in saying that, I don't know how long this career mode will last for. But that's the plan for him. Vitek could come back and be the third choice goalkeeper because, if I'm not mistaken, Tom Heaton is set to retire at the end of the season. We'll keep that in mind. He's going to go. We're going to look for a third choice goalkeeper. Bayendia, it depends on how he plays. I don't mind Bayendia as the second choice option, but again, it depends on how he plays. It depends on how Lamens plays, because if Lamens isn't good enough, I'm going to bring in another goalkeeper. Lamens will shift to that second choice keeper, and Bayendia will shift out the door with his best mate, Andre Onana. So for players like Tyrell Malacia, as well as, Casemiro, and there might be one other player that's set to expire, their contracts are set to expire at the end of the season, I am going to let them play out those contracts. I'm not going to sell them in January or anything crazy like that. I'm just going to let them walk on a free. I think it's probably the best thing to do. And then I will look to replace them in the summer window. That could be with some flashy new names. That could be with some suggestions from you guys. So get down below in the comment section. And I am going to show you guys my shortlist that I have plans for. But again, if you guys have any cool suggestions, I would love to know. I'd love to try and incorporate those sort of players into this career mode. Because of course, it's about me, but also about you guys, the broader audience, sharing your thoughts and opinions. It always just makes things just a little bit better. So, and again, like I mentioned in the actual tactics section, a lot of these players will have positions changed. Ugarte, I don't really see him as a holding midfielder, especially not for me, but as that ball-winning midfielder, the player that plays in Casemiro's position, that could be the best spot for Ugarte. Not having to do too much in the first phase, but also being able to win back possession as quick as possible, play higher up the field, and play the simple passes that United have often not really done in that second phase and final third area that might help teams, or might help the team break down the opposition teams. Toby Collier is going to come back. Rashford and Sancho, again, very much in the same boat as Andre Onana. They're going to go at the end of the season after their loans, and that's fine. That's okay. That's all right. They're going to shift out, and there are going to be other players that shift in. Kobbie Mainoo is going to be, changed to that CDM. Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount and Cunha and Ahmad and Mbeumo all going to have their positions changed. Now, the striker area is very similar, or very unique, because we've got Sesko, we've got Zirkzee, but we've also got Obi. Now, Obi and maybe Diego Leon and maybe one or two others are going to be loaned out in the January window. I will try and give them some minutes, maybe some Carabao Cup minutes, because in this timeline, I've started from the beginning of the season. So I might give them some minutes off the bench in the Carabao Cup. I am going to try them out in pre-season. We will be seeing some pre-season highlights, and I'm going to see how they go. But I think for their developments, maybe a year or maybe a 2-year loan in the January window might serve them a better developmental sort of plan than sitting on the bench and getting the odd minutes here and there. So there is that, but I'm quite happy with Zirkzee and Sesko for the time being, as we have no European football. We have, the cup competitions that we will be playing in. But I think that those two with Obi for the first half of the season, I think they're more than enough. Having looked at Man United and how things have panned out, there are 3 positions, or 4 you could say, 3 to 4 positions that I'm looking at to try and strengthen not specifically only in January, but over the January and summer windows. And again, love to know some of your thoughts and opinions down below, some suggestions, preferably players with real faces. But the first area is left back. I've got Cardona and I've got Mora, two very good left backs. I know this, I've used them before. They're two very good left backs. They've got some great play styles attached to them. And with Luke Shaw, he's definitely going, it probably will be in the January window. I'm going to try see if I can shift him out the door, but that would then mean that there's only Diego Leon and Patrick Dorgu. Now if Leon goes out on loan, it would only mean that Patrick Dorgu is the natural left-footed player that can play in that position. So it does mean I would need a better player to come in and try and back him up, or maybe even just compete with him for that starting left back position. And both Mora and Cardona are too experienced or well seasoned. I feel like well seasoned means that they're old, but they're not. They're 25. They're experienced enough to come in and compete and maybe replace Dorgu in that starting 11 and just elevate the overall position standards, I should say. The next area, I'm considering the CDM and CM positions as one, but the next area is the midfield. We know this in real life. United are targeting players in that position because they didn't do so in this past window that's just gone by. They targeted the front line and sorted that massive mess out, but I'm going to be targeting the midfield. Wharton, Stiller, Larson, and Guerra are the 4 targets that I'm going to try and incorporate and bring in over the next couple of transfer windows. Not all of these players will be playing for Man United, of course, but there's some very good potentials here, Wharton being one of them. However, I don't really know if it might be a bit of a boring signing. However, I do want to try and, bring Wharton and have Kobbie Mainoo working in the midfield together. That could be absolutely outstanding. But then there's also Stiller, who can not do everything Wharton does, but I think Stiller's a better passer of the ball compared to Wharton. Just my personal opinion. But I think he could also do a very good job. So if we don't go for Wharton, we go for Stiller. Then there's also Hugo Larsson, who provides a bit more legs in the midfield. And then there's also Javi Guerra, who was linked to United in real life, and I think he would be a top signing to maybe bring in and also use in that box-to-box sort of role, but maybe not as a ball winner, just a normal balanced box-to-box midfielder. That could be pretty cool. As for the left midfielder, I've got Swedberg, Raul Moro, who I'm quite excited to try and use and bring into Man United, so that could be a little hint at what I try and do. But then there's also this youngster, Samuel Mbangula from Werder Bremen, formerly of Juventus. He's got a real face in this year's game, which does make me excited. I've never used him before too, so it does add to the intrigue. Now, I do know that Cunha's the left midfielder. Mason Mount's going to be the backup option for that left midfielder. Can't speak, but of course, Mason Mount doesn't have the pace that I'm looking for. These 3 options, I don't know if Swedberg has the pace either, but these 3 options could come in and be natural fits, better fits to back up Cunha, or maybe even compete with him for that starting position game in, game out. And then we'll shift Mason Mount around. I think Mason Mount's going to be the utility player in the team until further notice, until the team really does level up and we move on from a player like that. So yes, those are my transfer options. I've also set up my scouts. So I'm scouting in England, Germany, Italy, I can't remember, and this person's scouting individual players for me. Of course, those few players that I've got on my transfer list, and I can't remember the other country that I'm scouting in. Sorry, I set this up last night. I can't really remember too much about it. I'm sorry, guys. Point is, the instructions are very similar to the positions that I'm targeting with the players that I've selected. So I'm looking for a defensive midfielder, not a wide midfielder. This is a defensive midfielder, 20 to 30 years of age. Contract length doesn't matter too much. They do need to be at least a first team prospect or maybe a world-class prospect to come in and try and compete with Kobbie Mainoo or compete with Casemiro. Then there's the actual midfielder who could also come in and do a very similar job. Then there's the left midfielder who can come in and maybe be the understudy to Matheus Cunha, also very similar first team prospect or world-class prospect. That would be fantastic. I think in my personal opinion, Mbangula, Raul Moro and Swedberg are all fantastic future world-class prospects, or at least first team prospects. That's their baseline. So I think I've done a pretty good job at hitting the mark, but of course there's always room for improvements. I'm also looking for contract expiry players. If we can sign players on a free, that's great. We are going to try and keep in mind the financial implications that United are facing, IRL and all that stuff. We're not going to go and spend 200 million on one player, at least not season 1, 2 or 3, if we get there. But we will be, keeping in mind the financial implications. So trying to sign free players, that could always be a good option. And then we're just looking for a world-class player, 20 to 32 years of age. That might be the most expensive sort of players that we do sign. So I am going to be using this scouting network along with your guys' suggestions. So comments. And I just think that that's a nice way to try and incorporate certain things. It won't just be off the dome, off the brain sort of things. It's going to be using the scouting network that Omar Barada, Sir Jim, Jason Wilcox, they've put money into, they've put time and energy into, and I'm going to obviously use that. Now, lastly, it's all about developing the long-term prospects for the future, and that is the Youth Academy. I've set up scouting networks in Morocco as well as England. The third one, I'm not too sure just yet. If you guys have any suggestions, that would be great. Maybe scouting in South America, maybe scouting another country in Europe or Africa, that could be cool. Maybe extending to Asia somewhere there, or Oceania, that could be sick. But I'm looking for a winger, a playmaker, and a wide playmaker, a fullback, ball-playing centre-back, and then a deep-line playmaker. Maybe we can find a Kobbie Mainoo replacement or backup just from Morocco in the Youth Academy. That could be cool too. We're going to hop on into our first set of preseason fixtures, and you guys are going to see fantastic highlights, great ball movements, beautiful football. It's going to remind you of prime Zidane, Real Madrid, Luis Enrique, Barcelona, Pep Guardiola, 09 Barca. It's going to be an amalgamation of all of that. I think it's going to be a sick career mode, people, honestly. So, D-Day has arrived. Arsenal versus Man United. We are at home, first game of the season. And in real life, we did play incredibly well. So I'm just going to run through the opponent's analysis. They'll be playing a 4-3-3. We'll be playing a similar formation with a bit more defensive variations to it, a 4-1-4-1. It does look like Arteta is doing Arteta things in the game as well. He's benched Eze, he's playing Trossard, he's got his back four of brilliance of Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, and Timber. The tactical presets that they'll be running is a tiki-taka playstyle or a possession playstyle. Their key defensive players are both Gabriel and Declan Rice. That does make a lot of sense. Gabriel as the defensive leader in the backline, Declan Rice as the racehorse that runs up and down the pitch. So it won't just be defensive, it will also be attacking that we need to keep an eye on. Saka, Odegaard, and Trossard being the key attackers. I'm surprised that they haven't incorporated Gyökeres into that conversation. We'll have to see how things pan out. Obviously, Saka is always going to be an incredible player to go up against, and he's going to be very hard to mark out of the game. So Patrick Dorgu, you've got your work cut out for you, sir. But nonetheless, let's have a look at our tactics, and of course, jump into the first press conference of the season and try and see if we can counteract what Arsenal are going to try and kill us with. Rightio. Look, that looks exactly like me, by the way. No? Okay. Looks nothing like me. That's fine too. I don't mind the judgment. It says here, can you share your thoughts with your plans for Kobbie Mainoo? Okay. Kobbie Mainoo is going to absolutely stay humble there, humble that Arsenal midfield with his pure brilliance in tight spaces, on the ball movement, the quick passing, the quick movement, and he is going to effectively run the game for Man United. As for Casemiro, I'm turning him into something slightly different, a very different position and approach that he's had in, the first 15 years or so of his career. In the latter stages, as in this season, he is going to be a different sort of player for us. I'm going to encourage him, of course. Get that confidence level high. It'll encourage him to get into the box, both boxes hopefully. Defend, attack, score a goal, maybe. We know he can strike the ball from range. He's going to be a lethal threat, but we also know, over the last few seasons at Man United at least, he's had that ability to play those quick passes and really help the team unlock opposition defenses with the little dink balls over the top, the little around the corner flick passes, and all that good stuff. Okay, so off the bat, some people have been speculating, does Benjamin Sesko start the first game of the season? A lot of people have said Xerxes is going to start, but I have news for you that this will be the team that goes into the game. However, the tactics are going to change and alter slightly. Firstly, I would like Patrick Dorgu to play as a balanced fullback. A versatile fullback, I think. A versatile fullback makes more sense. That way, he's going to be a bit more defensive, but if needed, he can get forward. If needed in the build-up play, he can stay back and look for those passes. That is exactly what I want. As for the likes of Mbeumo, I'm going to set him to attack because he is going to be the outlet ball alongside the versatile poacher of Benjamin Sesko. So those are the two tactical tweaks that we are going to make off the bat to try and counter what Arsenal might be able to throw at us, especially in those first 15 to 20 minutes of the game. They're going to come at us hard, but we're going to show them that we're capable. Let's not forget, Arsenal are competing for a title. Man United have just finished 15th, lost in the Europa League final, and we're looking to rebuild. The pressure is on them, regardless of the stadium we're playing in or the personnel that we possess. Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo, Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko. Euro. It's going to be a tasty affair. People smash the like button down below. We're gonna crack the shits out of Arsenal and Arteta. Again, pause. Rightio, the boys, they are warming up. The first impression of your boy Goat Squad Gaming. It's a man versus arse. It's going to be great. It's going to be incredible settings. Old Trafford is rocking as at this moment in time, the crowd, every single Man United supporter is behind the brand new manager. All it takes is one loss and everybody's against the new manager, but that's fine. I welcome this. I can't welcome the stress. Guys, please just give me some time and I'll sort things out. I need 5 years. That's never going to happen. I'll be sacked in 6 months. Let's just be honest here. But the new kit is looking shiny in the summer sunlight, heading into autumn, sorry. Harry Maguire's got his little tifo up. We're showing Arsenal how to represent a tifo against a big time opposition. They don't know how to do that, so we have to set the example, of course, as the biggest club in England and a top 3 biggest clubs in the world. Saka, you're going to get squashed because Dorgo and Lenny Yoro are going to lock you up. The fans are holding up the little things, which they never do IRL, but nonetheless, let's hop on into our game. You've already seen the lineup. You know what? For presentation's sake, Senna Lamens in goal. Beautiful. Yoro Delict, beautiful. Mazraoui, by the way, he's going to be a colossus in the back line. But that is the starting 11. It's pretty good. One of the best, I could say. As for Arsenal, I'm here to tell you, we don't care. So there's also the undertone of Man United could have signed this man right here on the ball, Victor Gyökeres. But that was for the previous manager, Ruben Amorim. And yeah, we won't talk too much about that. Saka scored with his first touch of the ball. He's turned in the box. We've given him far too much space. And 2.5 minutes in, Saka's disappeared over the corner flag. And he's put the ball in the back of the net. Lamin's not really getting time or energy to do much. It's a great goal. By the way, I am playing on Ultimate, so there will be games where I get absolutely tonked. But there will also be games where I have the whip in my hand and I'm beating the hell out of the opposition. But for the time being, a terrible start. Oh, we've touched the ball for the first time. So apparently, I don't know how true this is, the FA have said if you concede in the first 5 minutes of a game, that goal actually doesn't count towards the overall standings. But it does take time to implement a system and a style of play. Sesko, oh, there we go, Bruno. We love to see it. Bruno Fernandes, he's driving. Passes it to Sesko. Sesko puts it in the back of the net. In the 8th minute, Sesko scores. He does the Sue. Oh, I just pushed X. I don't know what I did there. But Sesko scores his first goal of his Man United career. And it's absolutely electrifying. It's beautiful settings. The crowd's going crazy. And we need more of that, obviously. We just pressed Timber. We pressed Timber so well. And we've done it again. It's absolutely scintillating settings. Bruno Fernandes squares the ball into Sesko. Sesko got an amazing touch. But couldn't get it to go there. Oh, Casemiro. And there I am. My best Pep impressions. It's great. But so far, 15 minutes in, apart from their opening 4 minutes of Cunha into Sesko. Sesko, return ball back into Mateus Cunha, gets the touch away. Oh my goodness gracious me, bless my soul. Baptize my kids 6 times a week, 3 times on a Sunday. Look at Mbeumo tracking back though. He's doing his best to help. Mbeumo and Mazraoui. Uh-oh. I'm scared. Lenny Yoro, great defensive little header. His touch is outrageously good. Oh. And that's another element. We've got a 6'5" striker. We've got to whip in crosses. We've got to supply hard balls. I think he can win those duels. And I think he can maybe even score quite a few headers for us. Whether it's a transition whipped in cross, whether it's a well-worked cross into the box, it's going to be a good time to be a striker for Manchester United, which we haven't really seen over the last couple of years. We've whipped in a great ball. Oh, there we go. Oh no, Sesko. He could have gotten his second. As a left-sided centre-back, he's high up the pitch. He's looking to compact. He's looking to add overloads. He's looking to do his best here. Look at this. This is the sort of football that we're looking to play. Oh, Sesko. Great touch. Saliba's there. Just gets the little touch away from Mbeumo because you know he's going to spin, turn, and fire it into the bottom corner. We're forcing Raya to go not long because you can't really say that is a long kick, but Arsenal have come away with the ball. They're looking to clear it. They are at 6s and 7s. We are winning back possession here. Can we have a final little attack? He gets fouled, by the way. Saliba fouls him there. But, like I said, the FA have said if you concede a goal in the first 5 minutes, does it really count? I think not. Apart from those 5 minutes, we've been by far the better team. Sesko, 1 attempt, 1 goal. That's what you need. Clinicality. I don't even know if that's a word. A clinical striker up front. And it's 1-1 going into the break. If we take a look at the match facts, it's 49 to 51% possession in favor of Arsenal. They've just edged that. Pause. 3 shots to 1. So in terms of in-the-box movements and attacking play, we've been better. Shocker. Passes, 66 for us because we've been rotating the ball. We've been rotating positions. Euro has come up the field. It's been great. Passing accuracy, theirs is 97, ours is 86. Although we're taking more risk. We aren't just playing those little 5-yard balls. We're taking more risk with what we're doing. The tackles are 2-2. So far, I'm not going to make any changes at the break. The boys still look like they're in shape there. Sesko, the stamina is slightly worrisome. But the rest of the team, oh, and Mbeumo too, by the way. And Casemiro. Okay, so far, half-time, it's doable. We can go into the second half with the same 11. Cunha with a ball into Kobbie. Bruno plays a great ball into Cunha. Oh my goodness, it's come off the post. It's rattled itself in. David Raya, in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half, he's conceded. Is that a little tale of things to come in the second half? Will Arsenal find a goal, bounce back, and will the game end in a 2-2 draw? I hope not, because right now, that little bit of combination play was lovely. Kobbie into Bruno. Bruno finds a great ball into Cunha, and Cunha with the left foot strike off the post. Bang, bang. We take the lead. First lead of the season, by the way. That is a lovely strike. David Raya, one of the best keepers in the world, couldn't get there. Control yourselves. I was going to start giving you loads of praise, but I see I can't do that just yet. Oh, Dorgu! That is incredible. I'll give some Patrick Dorgu praise. Lamens plays it out from the back into Nus Mazraoui. He plays it out wide to Mbeumo. It's around the 73rd minute. It's a bit longer than what I would have wanted, but we are going to make some changes. We still have the 1-goal lead. I'm going to replace Casemiro with Ugarte. Don't come on and injure anybody, please. Ahmad's going to come in for Mbeumo, and Sesko is going to come out for Xerxes. Now, this is where I make my money, people. This is where I make my money. Dalot, Mazraoui has been fantastic, by the way. He's locked up Trossard, but I'm going to bring on Dalot. Those are 4 changes. I'll keep the 5th change, try and waste some time at the end of the game if needed. I am also going to be making some tactical subs. Xerxes coming in. I'm going to put him to an attacking false 9, but we're still going to see that little linker play, that midfield overload. Ugarte is going to need that extra man to try and find the simple short 5-yard passes too. But so far, very impressed with Patrick Dorgu. Going to keep him on versatile. Nobody else is really going to change too much. Actually, I'm going to swap Ahmad to a balanced one. Or a balanced inside forward. That'll just help him with the tracking back approach. Those 4 changes and those 2 tactical changes, and I think we can win this game. If we can pick up 3 points on opening day versus title favorites Arsenal, it would be magnificent. Okay, so the subs haven't happened just yet, and Mbeumo is pacing down this channel. He's given it to Casemiro. Casemiro has missed point blank range. Takes it with his left foot. I don't know why he took it with his left foot, but that ball being out of play now gives the players time to come off, and Sesko's done incredibly well scoring in his debut, and we're going to see some subs make an impact. Hopefully not the impact that Casemiro missed out on. Having a 3-1 lead would have been pure enjoyment, but we've won the ball back here. He's given it to Xerxes. Xerxes returned the play. Oh, but Cunha's offside. The offside trap is well and truly in place here. All I do know is it's not looking good, bruv. Bruno, foot. What a block by Saliba. What a block by Saliba. Now, these missed opportunities and chances, will they come back to haunt me? Okay, this is exactly why we've brought on Ugarte. We've brought on these fresh legs. Chase the player down. Keep the ball up this side of the field. It's fine. It's all right. There's a minute to go in the game. Lewis Skelly, he's found a forward pass into Leandro Trossard. And Leandro Trossard, he does get around. This is scary settings. This is very scary setting, but Diego Dalot is there. Ball back to the keeper, punts it up the field. A 2-1 win on opening day. We played some great football. We missed some really good chances. And Arsenal are made to pay. Thank you, Arteta. Hold that, you fraud. It is what it is. 3 points from the first game. That is incredible settings. That sets the platform for its career mode. A 2-1 win on ultimate difficulty. That's what I play on. A Cunha goal, a Sesko goal. Beautiful. Also, a Gyökeres no goal, a Gyökeres no show. Hey man, it's great. It's simple. It's beautiful. On to the next one. For the second game of the season, it is going to be up against Marco Silva's Fulham at Craven Cottage. They're going to be playing a 4-2-3-1. Josh King, by the way, I do rate this youngster. I do rate him. I think he's going to be a bit of a thorn in our side. But if we have a look at the tactical presets, they're going to be playing counter-attacking football. That's very lethal against a team like us who are going to try and press high up the field, compact their team in their own half, compress the space, and all it takes is one long ball over the top, and we could have a Raul Jimenez goal in transition, or maybe, I don't know if they're going to play him, but there's also Adama Traore that could be playing. So Iwobi, Wilson, they're not the quickest of players, but they do have the ability to wiggle their way through the team, find some space, lay off passes, or maybe play killer through balls into Rodrigo Muniz or Josh King, like I've mentioned. So that's a little bit of a worry. The key defensive players are Anderson and Bassi. Those are the two centre backs. I do like Bassi, by the way. I think he can be a great option to maybe back up Lissandro Martinez. Of course, we do have Aiden Heaven, we do have Lenny Yoro, but again, we'll see further on down the line if Bassi could maybe step up to the plate and deliver. Now, the key attacker that we should watch out for is Harry Wilson. I would probably say it's more Muniz and Iwobi, but the scouts, they're not lying to me. I hope not. Otherwise, there's some leaks and some issues that I need to sort out. But we do know on the break, Harry Wilson does have the ability to pick out that killer ball, that killer long pass, that killer switch, and really cause havoc and danger. So what I am going to try and do is stick with this as the starting 11 for the time being. I think Casemiro, apart from that one-on-one miss against Arsenal, I think he was really, really good. Sesko, brilliant, scored on his debut. Mainoo, by the way, I have ball knowledge. He was absolutely immaculate. So I don't want to mess with that synergy just yet. And I think this will be the first game where we truly see the original tactics that I have in place come to fruition. We're going to see Dorgu bombing down that left side, sometimes inverting. You'll see some great combination play with Dorgu, Cunha, and Bruno, and maybe even Kobbie. We're going to see the versatile fullback. And we're also going to see Brian Mbeumo in that more balanced role. He's not necessarily going to be the outlet, but I do suspect we will see some runs from him in behind at times. So let's hop on into the game and hopefully collect another 3 points. That would be amazing. 6 from 6, you know. And now Casemiro, he's been told to overlap. He's going to whip the ball in, but he does win us. Is that our first corner of the season? That is our first corner of the season. Now, I didn't actually set this up. I did. Obviously, I'm smart. And Mbeumo's going to take from the left in swinging balls. Put some power on it. Matthias Select is there. Off the crossbar. 8 minutes in, off the crossbar. Ball through the thirds. Mbeumo. Mbeumo's in loads of space, but so is Benjamin Sesko in the box. Sesko with the header, and there we go. It's not been the greatest. You can see the rain is playing effects on the ball and how the players are interacting with it. But Benjamin Sesko, second goal from his second game, and Mbeumo gets his assist. There's no 007 shouts on Twitter or X or whatever, and that is absolutely scintillating football. Casemiro releases Mbeumo down that right-hand side, collects the ball. Little Travella pass, looking like prime Luka Modric right there. And we've got I want to say the Eiffel Tower, although he is from Slovenia. But we've got this massive juggernaut in the box, sends the keeper the wrong way with the header option and into the back of the net. Outrageous. Also, we're playing in the black kit, by the way. Love this kit. I think this could be my favorite kit over like the last 5 years, because United have not had great kits over the last few years. But this kit, it looks quite nice. Back into Mbeumo. Mbeumo plays a great pass into Sesko, into Casemiro, and again down at this right-hand side, but it's just off. Now, that is an area that I'm going to try and target. I might even switch Mbeumo to the more attacking option, because Anthony Robinson does get forward. You know, he wants to be that bombing on fullback. We might look to expose him, and I mean, Mbeumo's done a great job off the bat already. Oh, Cunha. Oh, these fullbacks are being hyper exposed. Cunha doesn't strike it that well, which is a bit sad. Casemiro, a little ball over the top there, and you can see the flanks are where we should be playing. The flanks are definitely where we should be playing, but that is offside. I mean, this Fulham line is doing quite a job. It is slippy, it is tricky. They've gone to the near post, and it's a clearance. I don't know if that's off the line or not, but it is a clearance from Casemiro at the near post. Now Fulham, you can see that they're growing into this game, and we need to hold them back a little bit more, because we grew into our game versus Arsenal, and we were the home team. The crowd got on our side, and we can't afford for that to happen. It's not been the prettiest of games. We've lost possession a lot. I do think the surface area and the weather is playing a bit of a role in everything, but we've got ourselves a lead through our clinical striker of Benjamin Sesko. Scored a beautiful goal with his head, well whipped in ball from Mbeumo, and it's 1-0 to United. I'm not going to rest on my laurels. I am going to push Mbeumo up. I do want him attacking Anthony Robinson. That way it'll maybe even pin the left back further back, and that will also kind of temper the Fulham attack, although it hasn't really been all-out attack for Fulham, although they did get that chance from the corner. So Mbeumo is going to be a bit more attacking. I'm thinking Casemiro should just switch to a balanced role as that box-to-box. Just focus a little bit more on collecting possession and driving up the pitch with it, or maybe trying to find those balls up and down the flanks or into the channels and all that good stuff. As for Bruno, I'm going to switch him from roaming to attack. I want him just to focus in that number 10 area, zone 14. Try and feed Sesko if you can. And might I say, Cunha and Dorgu mixing in with Bruno down that left half space area has been great. Dorgu inverting. He did get a few duels won. Does that make sense? A few duels won. He did win the ball back really well a few times by literally inverting and overloading the opposition with that aggressive counter press, which is great. But yes, that is going to be the team going into the second half. A few changes at the break in terms of the tactics I'm going to try and implement, and hopefully Marco Silva hasn't seen and he's surprised by what we can do in the second half. However, Dorgu, he's made the great overlap down that side of the pitch. He's looking for the ball, and Mbeumo's there, and that is a goal and an assist. An assist and a goal for Bryan Mbeumo. You can see how much it means to him. He's a Man United fan growing up as a boy from Cameroon. You can see how much it means to him. In the rain, 2 headers, a great whipped-in cross from Patrick Dorgu. Absolutely brilliant football, might I say the very least. The crossing in FC 26, outrageously good. Anthony Robinson, very weak, very nimble at the back there. You can see he's not really a powerful or strong defender. He's more of an attacking defender, which sounds so weird, but it is the truth. We all know this. And Marco Silva at 6s and 7s, he doesn't know what hit him. That attacking little switch that I made at half time, getting Mbeumo into those positions a little bit early, has led to that goal. It really has. And of course, having Patrick Dorgu play as that wing back on support has really done a number on what Fulham had set up to try and do in this game. We're 2-0 up at 56 minutes. And things are going peachy. Kobbie Mainoo, little ball out wide to Cunha. Cunha, he's screaming for the ball back. He's in some space here. Calvin Bassey, we're trying to find a little ball into Sesko. He was saying, you should have played a little bit earlier, should have given a bit more angle on the pass. Cunha couldn't really find the space to do it. They're showing us the replay of Mbeumo's goal again. Could the keeper have done better there, actually? Just having a look at that again. It does make one struggle to think, what if you had just done a little bit better? Putting a bit more power on this. Cunha back stick. Okay. Back in. Sesko. Oh my goodness me. Iwobi, he's gotten the best of Mazraoui, and he goes for a wayward effort. And that does mean that the ball is now out of play, and we can make a few changes with around 20 minutes or so to play. So, Xerxes going to come on. Ahmad's going to come on for Mbeumo. 2 goal scorers off, hopefully 2 new goal scorers on. I am going to bring Mason Mount on for Casemiro, but his role and positioning will change. As for Diego Dalot, I'm going to switch him with Dorgu. Now, Dalot will be the second choice left back as well, because I don't rate Luke Shaw as much as what I used to, and he will just be a squad filler. If I need to rotate in like the Carabao Cup, Luke Shaw will start. I am going to also make this change. Harry Maguire on for Euro. We're going to switch De Ligt and Maguire. I do think Maguire is a better right-sided centre-back than left. And that will be the change that we do make. Now let's have a look at the tactics. This is a somewhat more attacking team, but you got to go for the stuff, you know. You have to go for the stuff. Actually, because I do see the plus, I am a bit more intrigued to try and see what I can do with a half-winger sort of Mason Mount role. And that does mean that I can then do this and have Ahmad on build-up wide playmaker, somewhat matching Matthias Cunha down that left-hand side. And we've got essentially 2 attacking number 8s in this game to pair up with an attack false 9. Or should it be build-up? I'm thinking attack because I do want him charging into the box, making those runs, and doing his thing. As for the support for Dalot, actually, we're going to leave it on support Mazraoui as well. Now, some might be thinking, what are you doing? This is far too attacking. But what it's essentially doing is it's crowding out the central areas. You're going to see these passing triangles formulate. And of course, Kobbie Mainoo is going to knit everything together. But you're going to see these little passing triangles pull the opposition out into those wide areas and open up space for players like Mainoo, players like Joshua Zirkzee to have a bit more time and space on the ball to help dictate the play. Okay, so 5 changes, 2 goal scorers off, like I mentioned. Hopefully 2 new goal scorers coming on. But just to see out the rest of this game, we're 2-0 up, we're cruising comfortably. If we concede a goal, I will then readjust the tactics and go from then on out. But I think we're in a strong and comfortable position right now. And that is probably the most important thing. Gives it back to Ahmad. Ahmad, edge of the box. He sees Matheus Cunha, who forces a save from Leno. Another big save from the captain. It's one of those situations. Now, I actually don't like Bruno taking the corners from the right-hand side. So Ahmad, just like with Mbeumo, he's going to try and see if he can whip something in here. That's some good power at the near post and off the crossbar again. Matthias de Ligt, by the way, could have had 2 goals in this game. Could have had 2 goals in this game, and he's hit the crossbar on both of those attempts. Into Dalot. Dalot, he's looking to square it into Joshua Zirkzee, and the 2 subs combine perfectly. Dalot making that overlapping run, Bruno sliding him in brilliantly. I'm surprised the ball didn't run out of play, but Dalot, he fought hard, he got to the ball, squares it to Joshua Zirkzee, who's literally quite literally one-on-one with the keeper, and he finishes it into the side netting. I think what's so nice about that is the player rotations that you did see. Cunha was in Bruno's position and Bruno was in Cunha's position, and they just worked perfectly together. Can Bruno do a madness? I don't think he can. Finds Kobbie, gets it into Zirkzee, and Zirkzee with a powerful strike on goal, and it's another corner attempt for United. Come on with this one in. That's some good power to Harry Maguire. Slab hit, steers it just wide of the mark. Oh my goodness me. Well, guys, this has been a great game to watch. A clean sheet too, our first clean sheet of the season. Lamens is going to be very happy with that. And I think the first half, very, very cagey affair. Lots of loose ball turnovers for both teams. A few offsides for us. But nonetheless, a massive 3 points. 6 from 6. I don't know where that puts us, but we've scored 5 goals this season, conceded just once. And so far, the attackers, they're getting service. The midfield are doing their job, winning the ball back, rotating possession effectively, helping dictate and maintain tempo. And that's all I can ask for. Alrighty, this will be our last game of the first episode of the Man United career mode. I do hope you guys have enjoyed things so far. It's been a good start. I mean, we're currently in 3rd place, just having a look at the league table there. 6 points, tied with Spurs and Newcastle, who have obviously had a better goal difference than us. And we're also tied with Chelsea, who are in 4th. But look, I'm not planning to win the Premier League. If we do, I'm the GOAT, as we all know. But the goal is to try and get European football. That could be Europa League, that could be Champions League. Either way, it would be fantastic. Now, just having a look at this message I've gotten from Joshua Zirkzee. He did score versus Fulham. He says he's feeling very good. He says he wants to play. I like the hunger, and I might consider it. Because let's be honest, Burnley are going to be saying Benjamin Sesko, physical sense back, looking to run in behind. We're going to play that deep line. However, Joshua Zirkzee, false 9, on build up, going to draw centre backs out, and going to have Mbeumo and Cunha running in behind. Big game plan for Burnley. If we take a look at the analysis for Scott Parker's side, they've got Lyle Foster representing South Africa, lovely. Hannibal Mejbri, who former United player, but they do have some good quality here, especially on the break, which I do think that they're not playing counter-attacking football. They're playing wing play. That is outrageous. They've also got Kyle Walker, by the way, who does have still a decent amount of pace. But I think with Cunha's trickery down that right-hand side for Burnley, left-hand side for us, that's going to keep Kyle Walker very much locked up and locked down, because we also have to worry about him on attack. So he will be getting forward. Edwards, another attacking option that we have to watch out for, as well as Hartman. On the right-hand side, it's Edwards and Walker, and on the left-hand side, it's Hartman. I'm surprised that they haven't included Jaden Anthony into that. But the defensive players we need to watch out for, Esteve or Estavia or whatever, and Lauren or Lawrence. Alrighty, so like I mentioned, Joshua Zirkzee, he is going to come in. It's very harsh that Sesko has been benched, but don't look at it like he's been benched. It's a rotation, it's a tactical advantage that I'm trying to replicate here for my side. Bayern said he also wants to play, but we're gonna hold off on that. You can relax for the time being. I'm not prepared to change this back line, even though Diego Dalot did get an assist. I'm not prepared to change this that much. I think it will only be the Josh Zirkzee, switch up, I should say. And then, of course, false 9 on build up. That is going to be absolutely key. Now, the other change that I will make is he's going to shift to an attacking role, and he will also shift to an attacking role, giving us those inverted runs from both sides of the pitch. Of course, Cunha will still be looking to combine with Fernandes and Dorgu a little bit more, but he's also going to look to make those runs in behind. So when Zirkzee drops deep, those two wingers will push up and push into those spaces, and maybe we might see a Casemiro run, or maybe even a cheeky Bruno Fernandes run into that open space. Hannibal up against former club Man United. He might be wanting to try and prove a point here. They've whipped in a great ball. Lamens comes for the punch. We've won the header there. Okay, so we know Burnley are going to definitely try and kill us with their counter-attacks / wide options and wide play. Hannibal Mejbri. Why is the defense at 6s and 7s here? Oh my days. Okay, Senna Lamens forced into his first save. And Edwards, he's bombed down that right-hand side. And I'm looking quite dashing, if I can say the very least. Edwards is bombed down that right-hand side. He's forced a save from Lamens. Tough angle. I mean, if he had a central runner, maybe a Lyle Foster. I don't actually know who's the guy starting down the middle for them. Oh my goodness me. Kobbie Mainoo, you know what? That's the best thing he could have done. Dubravka stepping off his line, playing high up the field, and looking to distribute possession. If the ball got intercepted there, scenes. David Beckham-esque, Wayne Rooney-esque, long-range goal, baby. First game plan that hasn't really worked out well for us, and Casemiro gets charged off the ball by Leslie Ugachukwu, and that's left Trésor in behind here. Tries some skills. Oh my days. The big Belgium, Senna Lamens, comes up with a massive save. Oh, is he onside there? I think he's onside. Mbeumo, onside. That was against the run of play. Senna Lamens comes up with a massive save on the one end of the pitch. Zirkzee gets on the ball, he plays the through ball into Mbeumo, and Mbeumo tucks it home perfectly, little outside of the foot shot. I do think that does need to be patched at some point, because in that situation, he should just side foot it home. You don't see those sort of finishes all the time, but that's me nitpicking. Great goal. It kind of did work out how I said it would, although we haven't had as much control in the game as what I would have wanted. We've allowed them to have some good opportunities, which I don't like, and that needs to be sorted out soon enough. Senna Lamens comes for the cross. Oh my goodness me. That could have been atrocious. He could have been kicked in the head. The ball could have been won by the Burnley striker and he could have scored. That's bravery though. That is bravery. I wasn't expecting that to happen, I must say. But 1-0 at the break, and Mbeumo with his second goal for United. Cunha has been largely non-existent. I am going to try and tweak a few things at halftime, because the game plan hasn't really worked out. So it's not necessarily going to be a personnel switch or change, but it will be a bit more of concerted efforts. I do want a bit more attacking play high up, which is a bit of a risk. We all know that's a bit of a risk. But I think those changes paired up with these changes could help us a fair amount. I mean, the idea was to try and attack from the wide spaces and then have them move into the central zones. Didn't work out as well. So we're going to now try and attack from the central zones and have the wide areas try and stretch the pitch a fair amount. And now we also have Mazraoui coming into the midfield alongside Patrick Dorgu if needed or required. So that could create those midfield overloads. That would help with the central penetration. Of course, Zirkzee's still going to drop in and help with the build-up play, but he's also going to be a bit more of a figurehead in the box for Mbeumo and Cunha to try and deliver crosses into, or try and interchange passes with in and around those, final third areas. So that's the new game plan, and of course Kobbie's going to be sitting a little bit deeper and just help dictate the play, because we were very much all over the place in majority of that first phase of the build-up. So Kobbie, I just need you to be a bit more reserved for the second half. Don't do this to me. 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 Therefore, how can you say they don't deserve to be behind when they haven't done the attacking chores or duties? Oh, Kobbie, that's why I have you on defend. That's why I have you on defend, Kobbie. Bruno wins the ball back. Zirkzee, little dink pass over the top into Matheus Cunha, who is looking to try and generate something here. Cuts in inside. Oh my goodness me, it's come off the crossbar. And Mbeumo scores a second on the day. That's his second header for United. But that defender of Burnley should be taken off immediately. How dare you lose a duel like that in such a vital area? I don't think he realized that Mbeumo was running in behind him. I don't think the defender realized that Mbeumo was there. Just gets it over to Dubravka. That is an insane rebound, by the way. Humphreys was like, what the hell? And that's a good goal. That's a good goal. I'm sad the Cunha goal didn't go in, but really happy for Mbeumo. And you can see we're giving it the Jurgen Klopp fist. We're giving it the Antonio Conte celebration as well. You know, we're mixing CLEs here. It's great. And we're 2-0 up. And we have been a bit better in terms of the control, in terms of the movement. We did get a bit of a scare in that opening stage of the second half, but not too bad. Not too bad. It's around the 60th or 63rd minute of the second half. We are going to make several changes. Ugarte is going to come in from Mount. We are going to take off Bruno. People are saying, what the hell? That's just how life works sometimes. You've got to rotate your players. Dallas coming in at left back for us, and Delict takes the armband. I do like that. I can't lie. I do like that. So that is 5 changes with a few tactical tweaks required for it. I'm going to swap Ugarte. I'm so surprised he's got a playmaker plus role in this or trait or playstyle, whatever. It is very weird. But Ugarte is going to be deployed as a holding ball-winning midfielder, with Kobbie now set to a roaming deep line playmaker. So he'll still be in those pockets of space in the first phase, but he's just going to push up now and also drift into the half space areas as well. So that could be cool. Mount is going to stay on attack. Dallo is going to stay as is, and I'm going to obviously switch Sesko around to his poacher role as a versatile attacker. So those are the changes, those are the substitutions made, and hopefully maybe the subs can impact the game and win a goal or two. Win a goal or two? Score a goal or two for us. Uh-oh. Down the byline. Dallo. Oh my. Okay, you know what? He could have kept that ball in play, but he did a great job of forcing the defender down to the byline and then also putting in a great, well-timed tackle challenge to make sure they couldn't really do much with that good bit of movement that they had worked down that right-hand side. Sorry, right-hand side for them, left-hand side for us. Just play it out from the back, do your thing. We can't have Mason Mount giving the ball away again, though. Into Ahmad. Ahmad into Mount. Mount returns the ball back into Ahmad. Ahmad squares it into Joshua Zirkzee, I lie. Benjamin Sesko, who scores his third goal so far this season. If only Ahmad could do that in real life, we would have a few more Benjamin Sesko goals already this season. However, in this game, Ahmad is well dialed in at this moment in the season, well switched on. He's looking to maybe try and compete with a Cunha or an Mbeumo to try and start games. I mean, in terms of the production from this man up front, it's been brilliant. Uh-oh. Dallo squares it. Is that a hat-trick? That is a hat-trick. And Mbeumo hat-trick, 4th goal in his 3rd oh no. Yeah, sorry, 4th goal in 3 appear. I can't, I've messed this up. Regardless, an Mbeumo hat-trick, a brilliant day of football. Dallo gets another assist after coming on as a left back. Mason Mount has been intrinsic in both the goals since the subs have come on. And I must say, that little tidy finish, bottom corner settings, 4-0. It wasn't a 4-0 game. Burnley should feel very hard done by here. They could have scored a goal, maybe even 2 goals, if things had gone to plan, and that would have changed the game a lot. But it's been a 4-0 day. Sometimes you do get lucky with results like this, and it does make things look a lot better. And Mbeumo is in again. He's going to slide into Sesko. Sesko, low and hard. Gets taken out too, but he doesn't give a damn, and it's now 5-0, and again, it's not a 5-0 game. But that's his 4th goal in 3 games, and our forward line is producing levels of consistency that we haven't seen since Sir Alex Ferguson. Maybe I am the answer, guys. Maybe I am the answer. And there you have it, signing off from this episode with a 5-0 win. I mean, I would be absolutely gutted if I'm the Burnley manager, because they played incredibly well. I mean, we're just very clinical. And Mbeumo from that right-hand side, piercing down the the left side of Burnley's defense. It was outstanding. That second goal, outrageous, good positioning. 2 goals for Sesko as well. I can't complain at all with how they performed. Rightio, so heading into our next episode, we've got the Manchester Derby, which is going to be crazy, and we do have a few player position changes and upgrades that we can put into place here. Lenny Yoro, he's gained that double plus ball playing defender role, which is fantastic, and you'll see here I have got players set up in their various positions. Kobbie Mainoo is now actually a CDM, which is brilliant. Mason Mount is actually a left midfielder, but we will be using Mount in various areas. I've done this for the OCD part of me and having a left midfielder to back up the likes of Mateus Cunha. But like I said, we've seen Mount in this game, in this episode, play in both number 8 positions, and I think he's done very well in either of those. So, and then Ahmad as well. He's played on the left and on the right. And to be honest, he got an assist on the left. So there is that. Cheeto Obi, he's ready to be improved, and he's got that poacher double plus. And Xerxes, false 9, he's got the double plus false 9. We're just waiting for Sesko now, but that is the player improvements side of things. Joshua Xerxes, he is very happy. Got an assist, if I'm not mistaken. He got an assist for Mbeumo, I think, maybe. Look, he wasn't the worst, but Sesko came on and bagged 2 goals. So yes, guys, just to round off the video, leave some of your thoughts and opinions down below of if you like the career mode idea, if you like the tactical side of it. I know quite a few people like the other career mode tactical career mode that I did with Montpellier and FC25. That was really cool, and I think it does mix quite well with the channel. Now also leave me your thoughts and opinions on potential signings I could make going forward. It might not be this window, the next window, the following window, or whatever other window, but it will be at some point throughout the career mode, especially if I do like the player. I'm not going to sign everybody's player that they do suggest, but I would be open to some of your guys' suggestions that might fit into how I'm looking to play. So if it's a good suggestion, I'll make that signing. If it's a bad one, well, it is what it is. But anyways, until the next time, until the next episode, until the next tactical video, until the next how to start career mode video, until the next time you see my big, gorgeous, beautiful face, I hope you have a smashing goddamn day, people, and I'm out of here. Peace.